Okay, so anyway, you won't believe it. I was explaining everything and it wasn't on record. And if you know me, you know I don't like to waste video time. It's very important, okay? Because you got to look at this. I'm from the 60s and the 70s, okay? 80s is when I was in my 20s. And it's very important. I learned from that era any video time that you do. Any video time that you do is very important. So anyway, I was doing a video and then it turned off because it didn't have it on recording. But now I have to explain everything over again. So this is the teardown of Law and Order. Law and Order, as it's no pun intended, I said. Because it's just Law and Order, the one that we've been working on. Because I know nowadays you have to be so specific as to what's in your mind. But this is the Law and Order Animar that I worked on, and I did the music for it and everything. And we do this flash art, like I explained to you. And I explained the most important thing in the Animar is when you're working on the art, and now when I'm tearing it down, also is to be aware of what you're doing and attentive, not having so many things in your mind and things like that. One bad point that I've seen many of times is when someone's working on an art, especially when it's redundant and meticulous, their mind wanders and sometimes they become very, overwhelmed. The overwhelm, most likely, a lot of it comes from the fact that your mind wants to wander. It wants to do other things. It doesn't want to learn this. It doesn't want to do this. But because I have a program, which is Dance Without Music, which is American yoga, that I have to say I did. I'm not saying it to make myself any bigger. It's just so that you know that it's available to you in my program, in my channel, okay? So, American yoga, Pierre Deux, okay? That's one of the things that derives from this idea of being attentive whatever you do. So now I'm gonna tear this. This is different. This one is being different. It's different tearing it down because of the fact, and I want to put this whole thing in because I'm just gonna start tearing it down, and maybe I'll talk and maybe I won't talk. I'll try and talk, but the big deal about this one, I'm making sure my pants is all right. One time I did a video and my pants wasn't all right. When I turned around, I couldn't do the video. I don't like to waste time. I don't like to waste video time. So anyway, everything is secure. I don't see the whole thing in, but I'm going to see how far you can see, okay? Because I got to have this whole thing in, okay? So I'm going to put it a little bit further back, and then I'm going to start tearing it down. I think right there, okay, see where I can see the borders. I need to see one more border. Okay, so that's the whole border. Okay, excuse me. So now I'm going to start tearing this, this Law and Order down. And this one is different. The reason why I'm saying it's different is because the way it was put up. Remember in flash art, like we said in the previous videos on flash art, was that we had to make rules to make the flash art. The other things that we do as far as putting it up and everything are taken for granted, or you don't have to think about it because the most important thing is doing the art. But Law and Order was different in the fact that I utilized the laws of things. We don't believe in gravity here. That's another thing. But what I'm saying, I utilized the law to tell the story. I utilized the fact that that you have to take something up in order for it to stay on the wall. Okay, that's a law. And that's an order, meaning It's just a Law and Order. I'm not going to go into explanations. Okay, so I utilize that to tell the story of Law and Order in the Flash art. Okay, so that means, which I found out even more, that those laws are things that happen while I'm performing the art, while I was performing or putting the art up, took control of all the other things that I wanted to do, because I had to put the tape, and I utilized that tape in the construction of the art. So when I put the tape, I put the string, and I what can I do here? What can I do here? And then I had to figure out, well, what can I use to express? It was an action, actually. So, like, for instance, the string that I have was an action because the tape was there and it held the string, and then I had to take the string and I had to produce something that the string held up, which was the paper and things like that. So all these things that took place while I was doing the art gave me the rules. So the rules were easier. I didn't really have to come up with the rules. I only had the decision to make was the fact that I wanted those rules of physics, I'm going to say, to tell the story of the art. And now that's why it's very important that this teardown is probably more interesting than any other teardown that I had. Okay? So I'm going to make sure, I'm almost sure that everything is in, because now I don't see the borders. I like to see both the borders, and I know everything is complete. So here I go. I don't have to say too many things, because I want you to enjoy the fact of enjoy my taking it down, because this one's interesting because it's something that we all deal with, because I use the physics in the art. So here I go. I might talk, I might not talk. These were just strings, so what I'm going to do here is just release the string. Look at that. Okay. And that was easy. Wow. Look at that. That was easy. And that was easy. And look at it. That's something else, isn't it? This actually tells a story of a bigger story. This, to me, is so mind-boggling. And, okay, so it's going along so great. Look at that. And what am I doing? I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Paying attention to what you're doing is very, very hard to accomplish. But once you keep doing it, then you come accustomed. Now, this air conditioner is coming on, so I can't. It's going to be hard to hear me. It only stays on for a little while, though. So just pay attention and watch me take this down. Because it's telling you, now it's showing you something. The physics. Just watch the physics now. And I'm going to try and do my best. Isn't it funny? This is what held that up. Okay, so look at I'm going on now. I'm going to tell you a reason why it's so important to pay attention to what you're doing when you take down and you put up the art. Before I said when you put up the art, tend to being attentive. I think when you take it down, it's just as I added it because it's just as important. Why is it important? Because you learn new things, okay? You're actually learning while you're taking it down and while you're putting it up. So if your mind is wandering onto other things, that means you're doing 2 and 3 things at a time, which will make you tired, drain you more, and overwhelm you. Okay? So let's keep going. And one thing I want to say right now is, why does it seem like it's so organized and so, how can I say, it's so unique and, can I say easy, or it's such a system in taking it down that I'm not going through any problems? Is because it's done with law and order. It's done with order and law. So I'm taking it down with law and order also, the concept. Okay, so right now so far I got this done. I think about half of it is done. Close to half. And I'm going to take this string. So now I know I can use this again. Okay? With some other project. But of course I don't want to get it tangled. So I have to figure out something. I have this thing here. Let me show you. I have this thing here. Maybe I could like put it around it or something. So it doesn't get tangled. And maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But I know it's very fragile in that if I don't do it the right way, it's going to tangle. I don't want it to tangle at all. So I got this thing over here. Maybe what I'll do is, let me put this up here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll hang it on here. It's like a music stand, okay? So I'm going to put this up like this until I figure out what I'm going to do with it, okay? So let me go back and finish this up. Okay, I'm going back to finish it up. May not say anything. This is the action, you know. So I noticed already that the white papers, I just have to pull them and that's it. So I'm going to do them all since it's just so easy for that. One paper left without doing anything. Okay, so I'm doing all the papers now because I noticed that it's very simple. I just pull the string and the papers come down. And I hope you can see it, what I'm doing. I make sure one got tied up, which I'm not going to worry about. So there, that's all the papers done, okay? I'm going to put this over here like before, and let you see that. Okay. String, like the string, that's a pun. I don't know why, I always come up with a lot of puns, I don't know why. So I'm going to pick these out. Since this is already organized, take all the papers off. And just, have that organized. Since all the papers came down very well, And this is all the papers. All the papers. See how organized that was? So it was an order. The reason why it was like, I mean, I followed the law and order of the art project. So it's like in the art, look at all these are all done rapidly. Okay, so now these to finish. Now I'm going to wipe out like this instead of going horizontally. We always come up with that horizontally or horizontally. Sometimes it's good to make up words if they're not made up already. It's funny because, like, I'll tell you this one thing. It's like when you're doing art, your mind is in a different section or whatever, as far as I'm going to go. And you're not into terms, you're not into mathematics, you're not into physics, you're in a different place. So maybe later, once we figure out, once we come complete as far as where Flash Art is going to go, when we reach that point, then it's easier for us to reach up and find, vocabulary more, mathematics and things like that. But while I'm learning into this Flash Art and developing it, I pretty much have to stay here until it's totally developed. So I might make up words, I might say the wrong thing, but, I'm just telling you right now. But the project will work because I'm in the Flash Art developing it. Okay, if you understand what I'm talking about. So this is almost done. Out of all of them, this one didn't come out. Why? I don't know why. I knotted it for some reason. And what am I going to do? The only thing I'm going to do is just use the scissors. I thought I was going to use the scissors on a lot of them, but I didn't have to. Oh, I was going to do vertically, like I said. I wonder about horizontally. I know it's vertically. So I'm staying in one place. Well, one thing I learned already that the papers were very easy. the white papers were very easy to come down. Somehow, I tied these differently than the paper. Some of them I did to where it was easy, but for the most part, when I did the cardboard, it was tied slightly differently. Slightly different. That's something to think about. And that's a reason why you don't think about other things, because you're not going to learn about what you did. It's almost done. And then I'm going to talk about my next one. I already know what it's going to be. Sometimes I just tear things down. A lot of times, most of the time, I just don't tear it down. Because you can reuse things, and you learn more by taking it down like this. And that's it. I did it vertically because I noticed I was moving too much. You know, going from one side to the next. Those things you have to notice too. Very few I had to cut. That's another thing to notice. Am I on screen yet? And we're almost finished. Okay, so there we go. And that's it for that. I'm trying to see if I could take any more strings out. Some of them didn't work out, very few. About 3 or 4. And then we have the grid. I don't know if you can notice or can see, but there's a grid that I did. I'm going to show you. I'm going to let you see the grid. Okay. If you notice, there's a grid I had to come up with. So it was a lot. So let's explain law and order. The law and order that I came up with in this painting. So you see how, so is the order on law or law and order? And what I notice is that the order, so this is like an order of things. And then I put the law on the order. So if you want to break down law and order as it pertains to this art. And so we had the order. I made everything orderly, if you can see it. I'm sure you can see it very well now. Okay? So I've built the order, and on the order, okay, how can I put this? Because in order to do the order, though, I needed laws. I guess laws or system, like for instance, a law. Let me get these two first. You see how I did this? So I'm going to pick these up. I'm going to take it back. You can see this already now. So keep that in your mind. And then I'm going to organize all these papers. Okay? I'm going to organize these papers. Because it came down so well. So I'm still on screen. I'm going to take these out. It was very, very, how can I say, not organized. But see, like, now I'm thinking of words and I can see myself in this, I'm in this slash art kind of development. So I don't want to leave it to figure out what's the right thing to say. So neat. So I'm keeping this organized. Putting all these together. And this is just one box, majorly, I think it was one box. I'm not going to plug anybody, so I'm not going to say what kind of box it was. I mean, where I got the box from. And with these, I'm going to take one string and just, I don't know if I'll throw them away or what, but I'll just take one string and tie it. I should knot it and keep that secure. 1, 2 strings. Okay. Get one string, more than one string. Actually, I got this tape here. This is faster and better. And I'll tape it once. I don't know if I want to throw them away or what. Even if I throw them away, it still has to be organized. I got that done. I don't want to waste tape because I know I need this tape. And I have some extra tape over here that's about to go, so I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use the blue tape for the next project. Okay, so everything is straight. I got those packages packaged. Now I want to package these papers. I'll package these papers. I use just one string, one tape for that. And everything's bundled. and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with this string. So, now we know about the grid. What I was saying is that this order, you saw the order of what I was doing. But how did I make the order? And this is how my mind always was since I was young. When I wanted to do something, I would rush to the beginning and I would say, well, how do you do this? And many times in the beginning, I wouldn't get the answer because there was more information I needed to know. How was the beginning formed? And that's my whole concept as far as doing a lot of things. And it took me a long time to figure out before the beginning. And I talk about that in a lot of the, I can say in a lot of the different programs that I have on my channel. Which you have to go through. I mean, some people already know. They can figure it out because they went through the videos. But I have to leave that there, and I want to tell you that you saw the order, but in order, I could just start, if I'm writing a book, you form the order by doing this. But there's something that I had to do in order to create the order. And I guess I can say physics. Before I was saying I had to use laws, but that's kind of vague. So I have to say that there were physics to the things that I was using. The tape, as far as the physics, it held on. I needed something to hold on to the things that I wanted to put up there. So I can say I used the physics of the things that would happen to secure. Okay, I used the physics to secure an order. So let's just say that, okay? So I used the physics to secure an order. And how did I do that? I put tape, okay? Tape, the physics of the tape held thing. And that looks pretty good too. Look at that. Look how that looks. I wanted to do something else on here, but I noticed that the tape, if you keep tape on for a while, it kind of holds, it continues to hold, and then it'll mess up the wall. And I don't want to mess up the wall because I want to do other projects. So now I just want to tear this order down, okay? And like I said, there's the physics of the tape responding to the wall. That's a physics. And I use that to produce the order. Okay, I use it to produce the order. Now I want to take it down. So I want to take the tape down, which held on, which is the means in which I held my order together. Okay, so I'm going to take the order down. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but if you stay with me, I want this on tape. I don't know why. I mean, because it's important. It was very important in the art. And seems like it's coming down really well, very easily. Then we have string again. But this string, okay, so let's see. Now, there's something about doing this orderly in the fact that it would cost too much time. So it's not worth the time for me to do this orderly. So what do I have to do? I have to, I'm not going to do it orderly. I'm just going to pretty much tear it down. Okay? This one came out the chip. It chipped the paint a little bit. I'm keeping this because I might have to go over painting it a little bit. But I remember that chip of paint when I put it up. And I'm going in a horizontal fashion. I guess I can say that without pronouncing it wrong. On my Okay, so now let's talk about something. Why is it? Oh shoot! I got everything all over. Why is this important? Because what you see, and the reason why I put it on tape, is because this is physics. This is like chemistry, okay? And you're actually seeing something that happens physically. When I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about as far as physically is concerned, as far as physics is concerned. So these are the same things that take place in the cells, like the cells in your body, the cells and things, the chemistry, the everything, magnetic forces, all these things happen the way I'm doing it now. So that's why I want you to see that, because it's important. And the most important thing is that my mind is on it. I'm learning this thing, okay? So I want you to stay with me, and I'm not going to close it because this one is really, really interesting. And you're seeing when you look at it, as I take it down, you're seeing some physical reactions to things, okay? You're seeing chemical reactions of things. So that's why I'm keeping this up. I don't think it should take long time. Going again vertically now. And the nice thing about YouTube, they have this thing like when you watch something, you can fast forward it so you can see it, but it's important that you see this. Okay, so there's something. Oh, let me see. This phone is ringing for some reason. I gotta keep it on screen. Oh, it's just an alarm to tell. So we're almost finished. But like I said, it's important because you're seeing how something comes about. And as you can see how it is, it's tedious, but I want you to see this. This is part of flash art. see me, right? Okay, I just need a little bit more tape. See if I can get this tape. Are still on here? Then it'll be finished, and I'll tell you what we came up with. Because I want to get some black tape. See if I still have some. I just need a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to find it. Okay, so what can I do? I just need a border, that's all. Oh, here's some. Here's one. Let's see if this will do. Just need a little bit. Okay, now we're finished. And let's see what we came up with. Okay. So, now we can put this closer. And I'm going to show you what we came up with. You see this art. This piece right here, let me take this down because this doesn't go. So what do we have here? What it is okay, so this is going to be the next Animar. And what is it called? This is an emotional breakdown. Okay? Now, why is it called emotional breakdown? Because I went through an emotional breakdown in order to do this. Why I was able to survive it? Because I went through each step from my experience of doing this so many times. So you see, I'm still intact because I was able to live through the horrors of breaking down law and order. So this is the next Animar, and it's going to be called The Emotional Breakdown. Okay, emotional breakdown. Okay, the emotional, I'm just going to call it emotional breakdown or something like that, but it was definitely emotional breakdown. The recovery or the process, it doesn't have, it's something that everybody goes through. And to go through tearing down, no pun intended, law and order, put me through an emotional breakdown, but I was able to go through each step of the breakdown because I stayed focused and I continually recovered over all the different obstacles that was in my way. And we came up with the emotional breakdown. So that's it. It's a long tape. Thanks a lot for holding on in with me. But it was like an hour and a half. And so that's the next this is the next Annie Mar. It was going to be something else, but I thought it was so interesting because while I was doing it, I noticed so many things. So this is the next Annie Mar, the emotional breakdown. Thank you very much. But what I'm going to have to do is, this is just for the people who follow along. However, I'm going to do a YouTube on just the art of this. But the people who follow along will understand and see how the emotional breakdown went. Thank you very much. And now just look for the video of the emotional breakdown. Thank you. Bye-bye.